Brothers and sisters, this morning I want to speak to your heart about something that could change everything. There's a truth from heaven that holds the power to unlock doors that have remained shut in your life. It's not just a comforting idea, it's a key that opens up breakthrough, blessing, peace, and divine alignment. And it comes straight from the words of Jesus in Matthew 6:33. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Seeking God's kingdom first isn't just about putting him on your morning checklist. It means making him the very center of your life. Before the day pulls you in every direction, before fear and busyness take over, it's choosing to say, God, you come first, not just in our schedules, but in our decisions, our thoughts, our relationships, our needs. Right now, just pause. Let the quiet of this moment settle into your spirit. Before the phone rings, before the weight of today begins pressing on your shoulders, breathe. Feel this sacred stillness. This is not just another morning, it's an invitation. Heaven is reaching out to your heart. God is near, and he wants to meet with you here. Before anything else takes up space in your mind, whisper this with me. God, I give you this moment. I put you first today. Before anything else touches my thoughts, I choose you. That's not just a nice prayer. It's a declaration. It's a decision that shifts your atmosphere, that tells all of heaven and all of hell who your life truly belongs to. There is something powerful that happens when we reorder our hearts and return to God as our first love. When we put him at the top, not just in word but in posture, something shifts. It's not about how hard you try or how much you know. It's about surrender. Surrender is the key. Not to give up, but to give God full access. Maybe you woke up feeling like you've been carrying the weight of too much. Maybe the doors in front of you feel like they won't budge. Maybe your heart is tired of hoping. I want you to know you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. The enemy would love for you to believe that things will never change, that you're forgotten, that you're out of options. But that is not the truth. That is not your portion. Maybe you've been trying to fix everything on your own, pushing, planning, working late into the night. But what if the solution isn't in doing more but in shifting what comes first? What if the answer isn't beyond you, it's just waiting for you to return to the right order? Jesus didn't say, try hard and you'll earn blessing. He said, seek first my kingdom, and everything else will fall into place. That's not a suggestion, it's a principle. It's a divine sequence. When you prioritize him, he takes responsibility for what concerns you. He opens doors you've stopped knocking on. He makes ways you never imagined. Before we go any further, let this be your declaration. I seek you first. Say it out loud or type it where others can see. Let that simple phrase become your anchor today. Not because it's magic, but because it's agreement. Agreement with heaven. Agreement with God's divine flow. So I say it again, seek him first. Not because it's easy, not because it's what we're supposed to do, but because it's where your peace lives. It's where your provision comes from. It's where your purpose begins to rise again. I've seen it happen again and again. People who couldn't see a way forward, suddenly walking through open doors. Hearts healed, jobs released, families restored. Not through striving, but through surrender. Not by chasing answers, but by choosing to seek God first. Abraham discovered this when he trusted God's voice, more than his understanding. Moses learned this when he chose obedience over fear. David stepped into this truth when he stood before Goliath, not with might, but with faith in the God who goes before him. Over and over, the pattern is the same. Put God first and watch heaven respond. Let your first words today be these. Jesus, I place you above everything. You are first in my mind, in my heart, in my day. And when you say that, know that heaven hears you, that you've already begun unlocking doors, because the master key has never been about control. It's always been about surrender. There is a kind of peace that doesn't make sense to the world. It doesn't come from everything being okay. It comes from knowing who is in control. That kind of peace doesn't wait until the door opens. It walks with you right up to the door and says, we trust God even here. That's the fruit of a reordered heart. That's what happens when you seek him before anything else. Sometimes we don't realize just how tired our souls have become until we finally let go. We carry so much expectations, disappointments, delays, and somewhere in the middle of all that, our seeking shifts. Instead of seeking His presence, we begin chasing results. Instead of longing for His face, we start searching for fixes. But the invitation still stands. Come back. Put me first and watch what I can do. You may feel like the doors around you are sealed shut, like your prayers hit the ceiling, like your faith is growing thin. But could it be that the breakthrough you're asking for isn't being delayed? It's simply waiting for your priorities to shift. Could it be that heaven is holding something ready, just waiting for you to lay down your striving and lift up your surrender? When Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom," He was giving us a heavenly strategy. He was showing us the order that brings increase. God's economy doesn't work like the world's. His ways are upside down to ours. When we seek Him first, He adds. When we release control, He moves. When we stop forcing outcomes, He starts orchestrating miracles. Maybe you've been asking, why hasn't this changed yet? But the real question is, what have I been placing first? Sometimes the delay isn't punishment, it's invitation. A holy moment to stop reaching for outcomes and instead return to the one who holds them. There's a man I know who tried for years to build a life by force. He worked harder than anyone, prayed out of panic, and made decisions based on what looked smart, not what felt surrendered. But nothing ever lasted. Then, one quiet morning, he prayed differently. He didn't ask for help, he asked for alignment. God, show me where I've placed things out of order. That prayer broke something open, and within weeks what had felt stuck for years began to move. Not because of more effort, but because of realignment. I hear the whisper of the Holy Spirit even now. Stop exhausting yourself trying to fix what only I can move. Come back to me. Start here. Start with me. He's not distant. He's not disappointed. He's drawing you closer, not with pressure, but with promise. God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for order. And when our hearts are in order, peace flows like a river. Provision follows purpose. Wisdom follows worship. Doors open, not because we've earned them, but because we're aligned with the one who holds the key. You don't need to fight harder. You need to seek deeper, not just in your schedule, but in your soul. Is Jesus truly first? Not just in word, but in desire, in decisions, in direction. Right now, say it again. I seek you first. Let it rise from your spirit like a cry, like a compass. Because when you say those words with your whole heart, you are aligning yourself with the greatest truth of all. God is enough, and He will add everything you need, exactly when you need it. This kind of seeking isn't passive, it's powerful. It's waking up each morning with this declaration: God, you are not my last resort. You are my first pursuit. It's opening your hands to let go of what you've been holding too tightly and trusting that what He gives will always be better than what you could build alone. He's not just the God who opens doors, He's the God who is the door. And when you seek Him first, you won't have to chase what's meant for you. It will find you, in His time, in His way, and with more peace than you ever imagined. Lord, today I surrender the noise, the constant reaching, the endless problem solving, the stress that creeps into my chest before the sun even rises. I lay it all at your feet, because if I'm honest, I've been trying to carry what only you can hold, and all the while you've been waiting for me to simply say, I trust you more than I trust myself. So don't be afraid to pause, to let go, to reorder your steps. You're not losing ground, you're finding your way back to the source. And from that place, everything changes. You see what I cannot. You know what's ahead when all I see are closed doors. You are not moved by my deadlines or discouraged by the delays. You move according to purpose, not pressure. And when I return to you, when I seek your kingdom first, I enter that current of grace where everything begins to flow again. I remember a woman who told me her life changed the day she stopped praying for results and started praying for alignment. She had been asking God to fix her situation, her finances, her health, her relationships. But one morning she simply said, Lord, I want your heart more than your hand. That prayer shifted everything. Her life didn't become easier overnight, but it became lighter, clearer, purposeful. And within months, doors opened that she had stopped knocking on, all because she reordered her seeking. Some mornings I wake up already exhausted, already anxious, already overwhelmed by the unknowns. But you meet me here, in this stillness, and you whisper, "Come back to me. I am your beginning. I am your peace. I am the one who makes a way." I don't have to understand everything to believe you're working. I just have to put you first. That's what this is about. Not chasing answers, but chasing the answer. Not striving for blessing, but drawing close to the blesser. And when you make that shift, everything else follows. Maybe not immediately, maybe not the way you expected, but in the right time, in the right way, and with the kind of peace that can't be shaken. God isn't asking you to figure it all out today. He's asking you to begin with Him, to give Him your heart, your first thoughts, your truest desires. He already knows the outcome. He's simply waiting for your permission to move. You may have 100 things pulling at your attention today: deadlines, decisions, difficult conversations. But let the first words that rise from your soul be these: "Jesus, I seek you above it all." Not just because it's the right thing, but because it's the true thing. You are what I need most. We waste so much energy trying to force outcomes that only God can orchestrate. But when we seek Him first, we stop fighting with closed doors and start trusting the one who holds every key. We stop panicking over what isn't working and start walking in the calm confidence of those who know who goes before them. Jesus wasn't offering a formula when He said, "Seek first the kingdom." He was inviting us into a way of life, a way of living, where God is not part of our plans. He is the plan, where our strength doesn't come from trying harder, but from trusting deeper. The truth is, seeking God's kingdom first doesn't mean everything will always go smoothly, but it does mean you'll never go through it alone. You'll be led by wisdom, covered in peace, surrounded by favor, and held steady when the ground feels unsteady beneath your feet. So today we trade pressure for presence. We let go of timelines and pick up trust. We stop begging for breakthrough and begin believing that the door is already swinging open. Because the one who opens it knows our name, hears our heart, and honors our seeking. Say it with me: "Jesus, I seek you above everything else." Let that be your prayer, your rhythm, your foundation. And from that place, watch what begins to unfold. God, I admit, I've tried to open doors you never asked me to force. I've knocked until my knuckles hurt. I've reasoned, planned, and tried to calculate my way into breakthrough. But not once did peace come from my pushing. Only weariness, only confusion, only more noise. And now I see it clearly. The key wasn't missing. It was just in the wrong hands, mine. And you, my loving Father, were never trying to punish me with silence. You were simply waiting for me to return to the place where breakthrough always begins: surrender. There is a holy weight that lifts when we stop treating you like a backup plan and start treating you like the source. You are not the extra step we take after we've tried everything else. You are the foundation, the root, the beginning of wisdom, and the center of all true progress. The order of our seeking matters. You never told us to stop dreaming or to ignore our needs. You simply told us to bring them to you in the right order. After you, not before. Because when you're first, everything else finds its proper place. Dreams flourish, needs are met, peace multiplies. That's what it means to seek first. To say, "God, even this, what I treasure, what I fear to lose, I give it to you." And in that giving, we make room. Room for heaven to breathe on our situation. Room for miracles we couldn't have imagined. So today, I do the same. I lay down every tightly gripped plan, every backup strategy, every exit door I've kept cracked open, just in case you don't move how I hoped. I choose trust over control, surrender over striving, your way over my way. I think about the story of Abraham again. You asked him to lay down the one thing he cherished most: his son, his promise, his future. Not to take it away, but to teach him that you, not Isaac, were the source of the promise. And on that mountain, With trembling faith, he placed his trust fully in you and you provided. I believe you are not a God who withholds, but a God who waits for alignment, for order, for hearts that truly want you more than just what you can give. And I want you, Lord, above every blessing, above every breakthrough, above every outcome, just you. Today, I will not chase what was never mine to chase. I will not force what you have not opened. I will not panic when the path seems unclear. I will wait on you, and in that waiting, I will worship. Let your spirit move through my day like wind through dry leaves. Blow away everything that isn't centered on you. Clear the clutter. Quiet the chaos. Lead me back to what matters, your presence. Because worship is what happens when seeking becomes trust, when asking becomes resting, when the heart knows it doesn't need to prove anything, only to be still and know that you are God. So I speak it again, not just with words but with my whole life. Lord, I seek you first, and in doing so, I believe that everything else, the doors, the answers, the peace, the provision, will follow. Lord, how many times have I come to you only after everything else failed? How many times did I seek solutions before I sought your face? Forgive me, not because I should have known better, but because you've always been right here, waiting, not to scold me but to embrace me, to lead me gently back to what matters most. Sometimes the enemy tries to convince me that I'm stuck, that nothing is moving, that I'm behind. But you, God, remind me that nothing is ever stuck in your kingdom. There are no delays in heaven's timing, only preparation, only realignment, only mercy working in ways I can't see. I see now that peace is not a result of my problems disappearing. Peace is the result of your presence being first in my life. You've never asked me to fix everything. You've only asked me to be with you, to walk closely, to trust deeply. And that's where I find rest. The deeper I walk with you, the more I realize that the pressure to figure everything out no longer belongs to me. I don't have to know the details. I just have to know you. I don't need to see the entire road ahead if I know the one who walks beside me. So I lift my eyes off of what's missing and onto what's eternal. I stop rehearsing my fears and start releasing them into your care. I choose faith, not because it's easy, but because I know that you are faithful, always have been, always will be. I remember the story of Moses, standing before the Red Sea, people panicking, escape impossible. But instead of retreating, he lifted his staff and you parted the waters, not a second too early, not a moment too late. That's how you move, Lord. Always on time, always after our trust has been placed where it belongs, in you. And that's what you're asking of me today. Not to be strong, but to be surrendered. Not to predict outcomes, but to rest in the arms of the one who already knows them. Not to demand answers, but to seek the answer himself. There's a kind of strength that comes only from surrender. A kind of clarity that only shows up when we stop trying to prove ourselves and start trusting the one who already approved of us in love. That's the power of putting you first. This day, before anything else takes hold of my attention, I give you my affection, not as a ritual but as a reality. I'm not just praying, I'm realigning. I'm not just saying words, I'm setting a foundation. You first, not second, not eventually, now. Even now I sense doors in the spirit beginning to unlock. Not because I'm pushing harder, but because I've paused, because I've returned to what matters, because I've made space for you to move. And that's my heart's cry today. God, take the lead. I'm tired of trying to be the architect of my own life. I'm ready to be led again. I'm ready to build on something unshakable. Your kingdom, your righteousness, your love. So I start this day not with fear, but with faith. Not with striving, but with surrender. Not with questions, but with quiet confidence in the one who holds all the answers. Jesus, I seek you first, and because of that, I know everything else will fall into place. Jesus, sometimes it's not the loud storms that distract me. It's the quiet worry, the nagging thoughts, the subtle pressure to keep everything together. Those are the things that slowly pull my heart away from seeking you. But this morning I choose to break that cycle. I pause, I breathe, and I put you back at the center. You know the situations I'm facing, Lord. The things that feel heavy, the doors that won't open, the silence that makes me wonder if you're still listening. And still, you gently draw me back to the place where it all begins. Not in action, but in surrender. I don't want to move through this day with you on the sidelines. I want to walk with you, side by side, decision by decision, moment by moment. I want every step to echo with the truth. I belong to the Lord, and He is leading me. Seeking you first is not just about early prayer. It's about internal priority. It's about choosing to run to you before I run to anyone else. Choosing to believe your word before I believe my feelings. Choosing to rest in your promises even when anxiety tries to speak louder. God, I don't want to spend another day chasing shadows. I want the substance of your presence. I want my life to be marked, not by how much I can accomplish, but by how deeply I walk with you. Because when you're near, nothing feels impossible. Even if everything around me still looks the same. There's a reason Jesus said, "All these things will be added," because the things I need, wisdom, favor, open doors, strength, provision, they don't come from frantic effort. They come from divine alignment. They are added to a life that puts Him first. You've taught me that striving drains, but surrender empowers. When I try to force timing, I get frustrated. When I try to predict your path, I get confused. But when I let go and simply say, "Lord, you lead," peace returns. Clarity comes. Things begin to shift even if I don't see it yet. Let my schedule today reflect your presence. Let my words reflect your spirit. Let my choices reflect your heart. And when people cross my path, let them see in me something steady, something peaceful. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm anchored in the one who does. I've seen what happens when people put you first. I've watched lives turn around. I've seen you open doors in moments when it seemed impossible. And it always started with one thing: surrender. Not a perfect life, not a perfect plan, just a heart that says, "God, you come first." So here I am, Lord, not asking for more signs, not begging for breakthrough, just asking for you, because I know that when I have you, I have everything. I don't need to chase blessings. I just need to follow the blesser. And when I do, goodness and mercy follow me. There is something beautiful that happens when I stop trying to outrun my fears and instead start facing them in your presence. The things that once seemed so large, so looming, begin to lose their power when I place them beside your name. You are greater. You are wise. You are not intimidated by what overwhelms me. So take this day, Lord. It belongs to you. Guide me, shape me, hold me, lead me. From the inside out, I choose to seek first the kingdom of God. And I believe, deeply, surely, boldly, that everything else I need will come. You are my shepherd. You are my rock. You are the one who opens doors no one can shut. And I believe with all my heart that the more I seek you, the more everything else aligns. That's not a theory, it's a promise I've lived and will keep living. When I remember that you are the same God who split seas, who spoke through burning bushes, who raised the dead, then I remember that nothing in my life is too far gone. There are no hopeless cases in your kingdom. There are only opportunities for you to reveal your glory. I've realized that fear often grows loud when my soul forgets who is truly in charge. But the moment I seek you first before I seek solutions, everything shifts. Fear gets quieter. Worry loses its grip. Because your peace doesn't come after the problem is solved. It comes the moment I remember who I belong to. That's why you call us to seek you first. Not because you're trying to control us, but because you want to carry what we're not built to hold. You want to pour peace into places we've filled with panic. You want to remind us that surrender is the beginning of strength, not the end of it. So today, Lord, I bring you every fear. Every thought that says, what if this doesn't work out? Every whisper that tells me I'm not enough. I lay it all down not because I know what comes next, but because I trust the one who does. That same spirit lives in me. Not because I'm strong, but because you are. I don't have to pretend to be fearless. I just have to remember to put my fear in its proper place. Beneath your name, beneath your promise, beneath your authority. I think of David, just a shepherd boy with nothing but a slingshot and a deep trust in you. While everyone else saw Goliath as a giant too big to defeat, David saw a God too big to lose. He didn't wait until he felt qualified. He ran forward, seeking you above his fear, and trusted you to do the rest. Let my heart beat in rhythm with heaven today. Let my thoughts be shaped not by anxiety but by truth. Let my actions reflect the quiet strength that comes from being fully surrendered to the King of Kings. That is what it means to seek first. And when I feel the urge to rush ahead, remind me that seeking you is not a delay, it is divine preparation. When I'm tempted to fix things in my own power, remind me that waiting on you is never wasted time. It's the space where miracles are born. There's a key you've handed me in the midst of all this uncertainty. It's the ability to choose what I pursue. I may not be able to control my circumstances, but I can control what I seek. And today I choose to seek you, before answers, before comfort, before anything else. You are still writing my story, and no chapter ends in defeat when you are the author. Even the things I don't understand now are being woven into something good. I believe that. I rest in that. So let this be my declaration today. Not just from my lips, but from the very depth of who I am. I seek you first. I trust you fully. I surrender my plans to the one who holds eternity in his hands. And because of that, I will not fear. I will move forward in peace. Lord, you are not asking me to have all the answers. You're simply inviting me to come, to place my questions, my worries, my dreams, all of it at your feet. And as I do, I find that seeking you first isn't just about putting you at the top of a list. It's about building my life around you. It's about letting you be the center of it all. You are not far away, you're near. Even when I don't feel you, even when I don't understand your timing, you are here, whispering through the quiet, seek me, and you will find me. And today, I choose to believe you. So often, I've treated your presence like something I visit, not the place where I live. But you're showing me now, this is home. This is the only place my heart can truly rest. It's not in arrival or achievement or applause. It's here in this moment, in your presence, that I find who I really am. There's something sacred that happens in the stillness when I stop chasing results and start leaning into relationship. You're not just the provider, you're my Father, and when I begin with you, everything changes. Even if nothing else has changed yet. I've been learning that peace isn't found in control, it's found in connection, and every time I try to control the outcome, I drift from your heart. But every time I come back, hands open, agenda laid down, I feel your peace settle over me like a soft blanket. Not because things are perfect, but because you are present. I think about Solomon, the moment when you asked him what he wanted. He could have asked for wealth, or power, or long life. But instead, he asked for wisdom. He asked for something that aligned with your heart. And because he sought you first, you gave him more than he ever imagined. That's how you work, God. You don't just respond to our prayers, you respond to our posture. You bless not just our requests, but our surrender. And I want that kind of posture today. Not desperate for outcomes, but devoted to you. Not anxious for answers, but anchored in trust. Let this be the cry of my heart. Lord, I want you more than what I want from you. I want your way, not just my desired result. I want your presence more than your provision. Because I know that when I have you, I already have more than enough. Today, I walk with open hands, not clenched fists. I let go of the pressure to be perfect. I release the need to control everything around me. I invite you into the details, the big and the small, the seen and the hidden. Let every piece of this day reflect your glory. And as I move through this day, help me remember that seeking you first doesn't end with this prayer. It continues in every choice, every conversation, every quiet pause where I remember that I am not alone. You are here. You are with me. You are for me. Thank you for being the kind of God who doesn't demand performance, but invites presence. You don't measure me by how much I do. You measure me by how willing I am to trust you. And today, I trust you completely. So I rise in faith, Not because I know what's ahead, but because I know who walks beside me. I begin this day not with fear, but with confidence. I seek you first, and because of that, I know the rest will follow in your perfect time. There is something I feel you pressing gently into my spirit today, Lord. It's this truth. The door I've been waiting on might not be locked. It might just be waiting for me to stop pushing and start trusting. Maybe what I've been calling delay is really just a divine invitation to shift my posture from striving to surrender. When I chase solutions without seeking you first, I always end up drained. But when I seek you first, solutions often come without a fight. It's not about earning the answer. It's about trusting the one who already holds it. I've spent so much energy trying to figure it all out, trying to unlock blessing with the key of effort. But you keep reminding me the door to peace, the path to purpose, the breakthrough I long for. They don't open through pressure. They open through pursuit, through seeking you with my whole heart. You've never asked me to carry this weight alone. You've never told me that success rests on my performance. You've only asked me to come, to return, to make space, and to believe that when I do, you'll meet me there. You're teaching me that breakthrough is not about more effort. It's about more alignment. When I place your kingdom first, it's not me stepping into blessing. It's blessing flowing into me. It's heaven's order falling into place. Not because of me, but because of you. I believe the same is true for me, for everyone listening. That when we invite you to the center, not just of our hearts, but our habits, something changes. We don't just get better days. We become different people. We start walking lighter, seeing clearer, loving deep. There's a man I remember. He ran his business with excellence, but with a heavy burden. He felt like everything depended on his decisions, his timing, his strength. Then one day, he came to the end of himself and prayed a simple prayer. Lord, I put you first in my work. That one prayer shifted everything. Not instantly, but profoundly. Partnerships began forming, solutions appeared, and most of all, the stress lifted. Because where God is first, the pressure leaves. Let every task I do today be done with you. Let every decision I make be guided by your voice. Let every need I carry be released into your hands. Because I don't want to spend this life chasing results. I want to chase your heart. I don't want to touch anything today without touching your presence first. I don't want to walk through any door unless you open it. I don't want to build anything unless you're the one laying the foundation. This is what it means to seek you first, not just in the quiet place, but in every place. Help me today, Lord, not to rush ahead, not to get swept up in the pressure to perform. Slow my spirit, settle my thoughts, whisper again, start with me. Because you never move from pressure, you move in peace. So once again, I say it with trust that reaches beyond my feelings. Jesus, I seek you first, and in that seeking, I find everything I need. And I believe this with everything in me. When I seek you above all else, you take care of everything else. Not always how I expect, not always when I want, but always with purpose, always in love, always on time. Lord, as this day unfolds, I feel you reminding me that the very act of placing you first is not just obedience, it's protection. You don't ask for first place in my life to burden me. You ask for it so that I can finally be free from fear, from confusion, from the constant need to control what was never mine to carry. So many times I've tried to move mountains on my own. I've cried, I've planned, I've pleaded, but the mountain didn't move until I moved my heart closer to you. Because the truth is, it's not the obstacle that needs to change first, it's the order of my trust. You've shown me over and over again that peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of priorities. When you are in the right place, everything else begins to settle. The anxiety loosens its grip, the confusion clear, and suddenly even the hardest path feels possible. Not because it got easier, but because I remembered I'm not walking it alone. When I seek you first, I'm not giving up my needs. I'm giving them to someone who can actually meet them. I'm not surrendering to weakness. I'm surrendering to wisdom. I'm stepping out of the role of trying to be my own provider, my own guide, my own healer, and letting you take that place where you belong. So this morning I release the timeline. I release the pressure to be further along. I release the lie that says if I'm not in control, everything will fall apart. No, Lord, when I let go, things don't fall apart. They fall into place. Help me live with open hands today. Hands that don't grasp or cling. Hands that give freely, receive humbly, and trust completely. Hands that stay lifted in worship when the answers haven't come yet. Hands that say, I trust you, no matter what. I think of the Red Sea again, how you made a way where there was no way. But it wasn't until Moses lifted his eyes to you, until the people stood still and trusted, that the waters parted. Not one moment before. And I believe you still move like that. When we pause, when we trust, when we seek. Because I don't just want to be productive, I want to be present. I want to feel your nearness in the ordinary. I want to know you in the middle of my mess. I want to be so connected to you that even when life pulls at me, my roots stay firm. Let this be my rhythm today. Not rushing ahead, not shrinking back, but walking steadily in step with your spirit. Let me pause often. Let me listen more than I speak. Let me be more aware of your presence than my problem. That's what seeking first really means, doesn't it? Not just starting my day with a prayer, but saturating every part of the day with your presence. From sunrise to sunset, keeping you in view, letting you shape how I respond, how I give, how I live. There's something holy about this kind of surrender. It's not flashy, it's not loud, it's not always seen by others, but it shifts everything. Because when I say, God, you are first, I'm not just saying it with my voice. I'm handing you the steering wheel of my life. Lord, even now, I can sense you drawing me into a deeper place, a quiet invitation to go beyond the surface, beyond what I think I need, and step into what you've already prepared. You're not asking me to prove anything. You're asking me to trust, to choose faith when fear tries to take the lead. So I speak it again, not just as a routine, but as a revelation. Jesus, I seek you first. And because I do, I trust that whatever I need will meet me in its perfect time. Until then, I walk with peace. I walk with you. And even when I feel unsure, even when I still see no sign of the breakthrough I've been waiting for, I'm choosing to believe that you're not just good when things go my way. You're good always. Your timing is perfect. Your wisdom never fails. I think about the disciples, following Jesus into places they didn't understand, into storms, into uncertainty, but they followed him because they had already made a decision. He comes first. Not comfort, not clarity, just him. And I want that kind of faith. A faith that doesn't ask, what will I get out of this? But instead asks, Lord, are you in this? Because if you are, I'll go. If you are, I'll stay. If you are, I'll wait. That's the kind of peace that doesn't waver with circumstances. It stands firm in presence. So much of the world says, take control, hustle harder, make it happen. But your spirit whispers something different. Rest in me. Let me lead. Watch what I can do when you stop trying to carry what only I can lift. Let my soul come back to center today. Let the noise fade. Let the striving stop. Let me breathe deeply again, knowing that I'm not responsible for holding the universe together. You are, and you've never dropped a single star. Lord, I don't want to just seek you when I'm desperate. I want to seek you because you are worthy, because I love you, because even if nothing changed today, your presence would still be enough. You've seen every tear I've cried, every closed door I've stood in front of, every whispered prayer in the middle of the night. And through it all, you've been faithful, even when I was frustrated, even when I doubted, even when I didn't understand. You've been preparing something, haven't you? Behind the scenes, beneath the surface, in the places I can't see yet. And all you've been asking of me is this: seek me, stay close, let me be enough. And today I say yes. I choose you above my plans. I choose you above my fears. I choose you above the comfort of staying in control. I choose the way of peace, the way of trust, the way of seeking first your kingdom and letting the rest unfold in your time. So take my thoughts, take my worries, take my hopes, take my steps, make something beautiful out of this simple offering of trust, and let it be the seed that grows into a harvest I could never create on my own. And here I am again, choosing not to run, not to hide, but to dwell, to make your presence my home. I don't need everything to be perfect today. I just need to be with you, because in you I find the strength to keep going, the clarity to make wise choices, and the grace to keep my heart soft even when life is hard. Lord, you've always been near, even when I couldn't see it, even when my heart was clouded by disappointment or confusion, even when my plans crumbled and I didn't know how to begin again. You were quietly present, not pushing, just waiting for me to turn, to remember, to return to the only place I've ever truly been safe, in you. So today, I let go of regret. I release the urge to rewrite the past. And I plant my heart fully in this moment, this sacred moment, where you are present, where peace is possible, and where seeking you is still the best decision I can make. There's a rest that only comes from seeking you first, not the kind of rest that comes from sleep or escape, but the deep rest of knowing you've already gone before me. You've already made a way. I don't have to force it. I just have to follow. Sometimes I wonder how different my life would have looked if I had learned this earlier, if I had let go of fear sooner, if I had trusted you when the outcome looked uncertain. But I also know you waste nothing. Every detour, every delay, every broken plan has been a part of the story you're still writing. I think of Ruth, how she followed Naomi into unfamiliar territory. She didn't have a blueprint for what was next. She didn't have a guarantee of provision, but she had a posture of devotion. She said, "Your God will be my God." And through her surrender, you wrote redemption. I want that posture, Lord. Not needing every detail figured out, just needing to be near you, just needing to move with you, just needing to trust that if I seek you first, I'll never be found empty-handed. Maybe not always full of answers, but always full of grace. Let my life today be a reflection of that kind of devotion. Quiet, steady, focused. Let me listen for your whisper instead of the world's noise. Let me follow your spirit more than I follow the pressure of timelines or expectations. I don't want to chase what was never meant for me. I don't want to force what you've not ordained. I just want to move in sync with your spirit. And that begins not with doing, but with seeking, with looking for you in everything. And when I'm tempted to compare, to measure my life against others, bring me back to this truth. My story is not late, it's not lacking, it's being handcrafted by the God who sees the whole picture, and he is never in a rush. So I open my eyes today with a heart of quiet wonder. What might you do in a heart fully surrendered? What doors might you open? What peace might you bring? What beauty might unfold? Not because I demanded it, but because I trusted you. You've never turned me away, even when I've gotten distracted, even when I've wandered after lesser things. The moment I turn my eyes back to you, you welcome me like I never left. That kind of love is too deep to explain, but it's real, and I feel it now. Here I am, Lord, eyes on you, heart open, agenda laid down. Let this be a day led by seeking, a day carried by grace, a day anchored in the one who never fails. Lord, this journey of putting you first isn't about perfection, it's about pursuit. You're not looking for people who never stumble. You're looking for hearts that keep coming back. And here I am, coming back again, not because I have it all together, but because I know you hold everything I lack. You remind me of Mary, sitting at your feet while others were busy with details. She wasn't lazy, she was devoted. She knew the most important thing wasn't what she could do for you, but what she could receive from you. And you said she chose the better part. There's something in me shifting, softening, surrendering, because I don't want to live another day ruled by fear or by the need to prove myself. I want to live led by you, not chasing validation, not grasping for control, just moving in step with your goodness. Help me to choose that too, when the to-do list feels loud, when pressure whispers, you're falling behind, when my heart is tempted to run ahead. Pull me back into stillness, back into the better part, the part where I seek you first. Even in the small things, I want to be faithful. in the way I speak to others, in the way I show up for my family, in the way I handle disappointment. Let it all be shaped by the overflow of time spent with you. I don't want to miss the beauty of this day because I was too caught up in the unknowns of tomorrow. I don't want to overlook your presence because I was too busy trying to control outcomes. Let my eyes stay fixed. Let my heart stay grounded. You are teaching me that everything flows from this posture, this sacred rhythm of seeking. When you're first, I walk in peace. When you're first, I speak with kindness. When you're first, I respond with wisdom. Because I'm not acting from pressure, I'm moving from present. There's no better way to begin again than in surrender. No stronger foundation than the one built on your word. And no clearer direction than the one whispered in stillness. You're not just a Sunday God, you are a daily Father, and I want every day to reflect that. So as I walk into the unknowns of today, I carry this truth. I am not alone. I have a shepherd. I have a guide. I have a king who walks beside me. And because I've sought you first, I can move forward without fear. You know what I need before I ask. You know what I fear before I admit it, and you've already made provision for both. I don't have to strain for what you've already decided to give. I just have to stay close. Lord, you're teaching me something I didn't fully understand before. Seeking you first doesn't mean everything becomes easy, but it does mean everything becomes rooted. I stop drifting. I stop fearing every shift in the wind, because my heart is no longer tied to the outcome. It's anchored in you. And when storms come, as they sometimes do, I no longer panic the way I once did, because I know now where my foundation is. You've been building something stronger in me, not on the surface but deep within. And it started the moment I stopped running ahead and started sitting still in your presence. Thank you for being a God who leads with compassion, who invites rather than demands, who blesses not just what I do, but the heart with which I do it. I offer you mine again today. Take it, shape it, fill it, be first in all things. When I think of Joshua walking around Jericho, it amazes me. You didn't ask him to attack first. You asked him to walk, to trust, to obey, to move in silence while you worked in secret. And then at the appointed time, the walls fell, not by their strength, but by your power. You've shown me that the breakthrough doesn't always come through force, but through alignment. Not by grasping at control, but by placing you in your rightful place above my dreams, above my fears, above my understanding. Seeking you first isn't passive, it's the most powerful thing I can do. I feel that same pattern unfolding in my own life. You're leading me, not always with loud signs, but with steady peace. You're inviting me to walk faithfully even when I can't see results. Because sometimes it's the quiet days of obedience that prepare me for the loud days of victory. I don't want a life built on temporary pleasures or shallow validation. I want a life that echoes with eternity, a heart that beats in rhythm with heaven, a soul that is fully alive because it's fully surrendered. Let my focus stay fixed. The world offers so many distractions, things that promise comfort, but leave me empty. But you never fail to satisfy. You never offer false hope. Everything you give leads me deeper into truth, deeper into joy, deeper into wholeness. Help me to be faithful today, Lord, even in what feels small, even in what no one else sees. Let me trust that what I plant in your presence will bear fruit in your time, that what I surrender now will be resurrected in ways beyond what I can imagine. Let that love show in how I speak today, in how I listen, in how I pause to pray instead of react, in how I offer kindness, patience, and grace, even when I feel worn thin. May my whole being reflect that I've been with you, because I know when I start with you, I move differently. I live with more peace. I speak with more purpose. I stand with more courage, not because I've become stronger, but because I've stopped trying to be strong without you. So if there's anything in me that's out of order, anything I've placed above you even without realizing it, I ask you to gently bring it to light. I don't want to chase shadows. I want to chase you. I want to live in a way that says clearly, you are my first love. And so again today, I return to this sacred beginning, seeking you first, Not just for a blessing, not just for a breakthrough, but because you are worthy, because I love you, because you are the one my soul was made to follow. There are mornings when I wake up already overwhelmed, before a single task begins. But when I turn to you first, even if I say nothing at all, something begins to settle inside me. I remember I'm not walking into this day alone. I remember that you are already in my future, already at work where I can't yet see. Lord, the more I seek you, the more I realize that this isn't about trying to earn something from you. It's about letting you shape me, about allowing your presence to become the place I live from, not just visit in moments of need. It's a shift from desperation to devotion, from asking constantly to simply being still and knowing you are God. You are not waiting for perfection. You are not disappointed in my slow progress. You just want my attention, my trust, my nearness, and in return, you give what no one else can: peace that steadies, hope that lifts, and direction that doesn't come from my understanding, but from your Spirit. You've never failed to meet me in the quiet, and some of the most life-changing moments haven't come through dramatic encounters, but through whispered reminders, a verse that speaks louder than my fear, a silence that feels filled with your love, a breath that draws me back to truth. Help me not to measure the effectiveness of prayer by how quickly things change, but by how deeply you change me. Because real transformation starts here in this space where I seek you, not for what you give, but because you are everything. I remember the woman with the alabaster jar. She didn't come with words, she came with worship. She didn't ask for anything, she simply poured out what was most precious. And you called it beautiful. You saw her heart and you honored it. That's what I want today. Not just to bring you my needs, but to bring you my love, to pour out my thoughts, my time, my trust at your feet. Because I believe that when I give you my first and best, you fill every empty space with something holy. Even when my mind wanders, even when my attention drifts, draw me back gently. Let this seeking not be driven by pressure, but by desire. A genuine desire to know you more, to walk closely, to move slowly enough to recognize your voice among all the noise. Let the choices I make today reflect this prayer. Let the way I speak to others show that I've spent time with you. Let my reactions carry the tone of heaven. Let my hands work with grace, and my words build instead of break. You are not a God of chaos. You are the Prince of Peace. And when I seek you first, I make room for that peace to cover every part of my day. From the biggest decisions to the smallest moments, I want you involved in it all. So as I go forward today, I go differently. Not rushed, not grasping for control, but walking with open hands. I trust that as I seek you, everything else will find its rightful place. I don't need to force what you've already promised. Let this be the rhythm of my heart. Not striving, but seeking. Not stressing, but trusting. Not performing, but abiding. Because when I stay close to you, I never walk empty. I walk full of something far greater than anything this world can offer. Lord, there is something healing in just being still with you. I don't have to impress you. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to pretend I'm stronger than I really am. You see everything already, and you love me still. That kind of love changes how I live, how I breathe, how I begin each day. Malady. There's a story in Ticking Chronicles that often speaks to me when the people of Judah faced a battle far beyond their ability to win. But instead of trying to fight it on their own, they sought you. They fasted, they prayed, they humbled themselves, and you answered not with more weapons but with a word. The battle is not yours, but God's. I used to think seeking you first meant doing more, reading more, praying longer, checking every spiritual box. But now I see it's about presence, not performance. It's about turning my attention toward you the moment my eyes open, and keeping it there through the noise of life. Even when life feels full of uncertainty, you are not unsure. You've already seen what's ahead. You've already made provision where I only see lack. And when I come to you first, I exchange my panic for peace. I remember that I'm not doing this in my own strength. That still takes my breath away. Because how many times have I picked up battles I was never meant to fight? How many times have I worried, planned and pushed when all you wanted was for me to trust you. You've shown me again and again when I seek you first, the weight lifts. The answers may not come immediately, but the fear loses its grip. And sometimes that's the first miracle of the day, peace in the middle of the waiting. I'm learning to value that kind of miracle. Not just the big breakthroughs, but the quiet ones. The moments where I don't react the way I used to. The days where I move a little slower, speak a little gentler, breathe a little deeper. All because I started the day with you. Let that be enough for me, Lord. Let me not miss the sacred by always reaching for the spectacular. Let me not overlook the presence of God because I'm distracted by the pressure of man. Let me find joy in the hidden moments and strength in the simplicity of trust. Today, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know you're near, and you are. You're in the breath I just took. You're in the quiet that surrounds me. You're in the wisdom that nudges gently instead of shouting loud. You're always here. Remind me that seeking you is not something I graduate from. It's something I return to again and again, because it's where I'm restored. You don't scold me for needing you daily. You designed me that way. And the more I lean on you, the more whole I become. So I enter this day, not looking for perfection, but for presence. Not chasing what I don't yet have, but cherishing the one I already do. And I whisper once more, Lord, I seek you first. You are not a distant God. You're not waiting for me to be better before you draw near. You meet me in the beginning, in the first breath, in the first prayer, in the smallest surrender. And that's more than enough. Help me teach others this truth, not with just words, but with the way I live. Let my life become a quiet invitation to those around me. Let the peace you give me spill over into every conversation, every room, every encounter. Let me know when you're ready for part. You said, yes. ChatGPT said, thank you. Here is part 17 of 27, continuing in the same prayerful, poetic rhythm with deeply original language and heartfelt surrender. Lord, you've shown me that when I seek you first, I stop carrying things I was never meant to carry. The burdens I picked up out of fear, the expectations I placed on myself, the timelines I tried to control, they all begin to melt in the light of your presence. Suddenly I remember what really matters, being close to you. I don't want to spend my life chasing outcomes and miss the joy of simply walking with you. Because when I'm with you, I'm safe. Even when the path isn't clear, I don't have to fear where I'm going. You never lead in confusion. You guide with peace. Sometimes I still feel that old pressure creeping in, the one that says I'm behind, that I should be further by now, that everyone else seems to be moving faster. But you remind me, I'm not running their race. I'm walking a path you designed just for me, and I can trust your pace. I think about how Jesus responded to pressure. He was never rushed, never frantic. Even with crowds demanding his time and miracles needed everywhere, he moved with peace. He paused for the one who reached for his robe. He saw the woman at the well. He noticed Zacchaeus in a tree. That's the way I want to live. Not so busy trying to get there that I forget to be fully here. Seeking you first resets my soul. It slows me down, clears the fog, and shows me that what I thought was urgent isn't always important. So many answers I've been looking for aren't found in striving, they're found in stillness. They rise up in the quiet, in the pause, in the moment I let go of trying to solve everything and simply say, Lord, what do you want me to see? You're not just the God of the big picture. You're the God of details, the gentle nudge to call someone, the idea that comes in prayer, the small yes that leads to something sacred. When I start with you, I begin to notice all the ways you speak. It's in that place that I'm reminded, you're not hiding from me, you're waiting for me. You're not complicated, you're near, and you don't need me to figure it all out before I come. You just want me to come with an open heart. And when I do, I find more than guidance. I find peace, the kind of peace that doesn't make sense on paper, the kind of peace that holds me together when nothing else can. It doesn't mean the storm disappears, but it means I'm no longer afraid of it. I want to be led by that kind of peace today, not the kind that comes and goes with circumstances, but the kind that stays because it's rooted in seeking you, Let your presence be the compass I trust, even when the map isn't clear. And Lord, when I'm tempted to run ahead, to force things, to make something happen in my own strength, whisper gently, come back. Bring me back to center, back to the better way, back to the place where I remember who's really in charge. Lord, as I walk through this day, I want to carry the calm that only comes from starting with you. I want my spirit to be steady, not easily shaken by unexpected changes or disappointing news. Because when I begin my day at your feet, I find the kind of strength that doesn't depend on what happens around me. You've already proven yourself faithful. I don't need more evidence. I need deeper trust. So I release my need to know how it will all work out. I simply say again, I choose you. First. Always. Above all else. You're not just interested in the parts of my life I consider spiritual. You want to walk with me through everything. The conversations I dread, the errands I rush through, the work I don't feel ready for, the emotions I struggle to name. You're present in all of it. There's something sacred about giving you my first thoughts. Before the phone rings, before the world wakes up fully, before my mind gets pulled in a dozen directions, you are my first. And in that early offering, you meet me with peace that grounds me and love that fills the empty spaces. And that's what changes things. Not that life gets easier, but that I stop walking through it alone. Seeking you first isn't a moment, it's a posture. A daily choice to center my soul in the reality that I belong to you and that you're guiding me even when I don't feel it. I want to respond like that, with a heart that says yes, even when the path looks unfamiliar, with faith that leans in instead of holding back, with a quiet courage that trusts you more than I trust my own plans. That kind of response doesn't come from pressure, it flows from intimacy. When I open my Bible, I see stories of ordinary people who encountered you and were never the same. Moses met you in a burning bush. Elijah heard you in a whisper. Mary encountered you through an angel's words. But all of them had one thing in common. They responded, and intimacy is built in the seeking, in the morning whispers, in the silent tears, in the small prayers breathed between tasks, in the moments no one sees but you. It's in those places that you plant something eternal in me, something that grows into peace, wisdom, and unshakable faith. Let that be my rhythm today. Not rushing, not performing, but remaining in you, remaining in trust, remaining in quiet confidence that you are with me. You are for me, and you are guiding each step I take. You take my small offerings and make them holy. The 5 minutes I give in prayer, the single verse that steadies me, the pause before I speak. You take what feels ordinary and make it part of something eternal when I offer it from the heart. Sometimes the world makes me feel like I need to be doing more to be valuable, but you remind me that I'm already deeply loved. I don't have to strive to earn what you've already freely given. I don't have to prove my worth to you. It's already settled. And when the voices of doubt get loud, when my own thoughts try to pull me away from peace, bring me back to center, back to the truth that you've never failed me, back to the stillness where I remember who I am and whose I am. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much I got done. It's about whether I stayed close to you. That is success in your eyes. That is what leads to real joy. And that is what I want most of all. So again today, Lord, I lay everything down. My plans, my concerns, my timing, my desires. I place them in your hands, not out of fear, but out of trust. Because seeking you first will never be something I regret. Even when my thoughts are heavy or my heart feels unsure, you invite me to draw near, not because I have the perfect words, but because you know exactly what I need before I speak. You are the one who understands my sighs, interprets my silence, and reads the ache behind my smile. When I begin the day with you, I stop trying to pretend I have it all together. I stop trying to outrun my emotions, or cover up the parts of me that still need healing, because you already see it all, and you still call me beloved. Lord, there is such comfort in knowing that you never grow tired of me coming back to you. Whether I come with joy or with worry, with strength or with weakness, you receive me the same with open arms. And that welcome reminds me again, I don't have to do this life alone. I think of Peter stepping out of the boat, He didn't wait for everything to make sense. He just responded to your voice. And while the waves were real, your presence was more real. As long as he kept his eyes on you, he stood on what should have sunk him. There's something about quiet mornings with you that changes everything. Not just the start of my day, but the condition of my soul. When I begin with you, I live with a softer heart, a clearer mind, a deeper trust, because I've remembered what matters most. It amazes me, Lord, how you can take brokenness and turn it into beauty, how you can take weakness and turn it into strength. And it never happens through striving. It happens when I choose to sit with you, listen to you, and lean into your truth, instead of my own understanding. That's what I'm learning to do. Walk in places that used to feel impossible. Stand in peace where I used to fall into panic. Speak in confidence where I once felt unworthy. Not because the storms are gone, but because I've learned where to look. And when I lose focus, when I start to sink in fear or doubt, you don't scold me. You reach out your hand, you pull me back, and then you teach me again how to walk, not with my eyes on the wind, but with my gaze locked on you. That's the life I want, Lord. One where I move not by sight but by faith, not driven by urgency, but drawn by your spirit. A life not shaped by culture's pace, but by your peace. That's why I seek you first, because only you can anchor me in truth. I surrender the things I cannot control today, the outcomes, the timing, the opinions of others. I trade anxiety for trust, chaos for clarity, fear for faith, and I let you take the lead again, as I lay down my desire to figure everything out. You're not just a distant ruler. I know you now as Father, as friend, as shepherd, and I trust that when I bring you the first of my time, you guide the rest of it. When I give you my heart at the beginning, you order the steps that follow. Let my life reflect this quiet confidence that I am not self-made but spirit-led, that what looks like peace is not personality, but presence, that what looks like grace under pressure is the fruit of a soul that started the day with God. So once again, with open hands and a hopeful heart, I say, be first in all I do today. Be first in how I think, how I speak, how I respond, how I lead, how I serve. You are worthy of that place, and it's where I want you to stay. Sometimes I come to you carrying disappointment in myself and others, and how things have unfolded. But you don't push me away. You let me bring even that to you. You don't rush me past my grief. You sit with me in it. You are Emmanuel, God with us, even in sorrow. Lord, it's only when I seek you first that I remember how close you really are. Not as an idea, not as a distant deity, but as the living God who walks beside me. You whisper peace into places I've let fear grow. You step into rooms I thought were empty and fill them with your presence. I've looked back and seen how many times you saved me by saying not yet. How many times you closed a path because you were preparing a better one. And while I didn't see it at the time, now I understand your no was part of your mercy. And somehow in the stillness of being near you, I remember that my story isn't over, that you haven't forgotten me, that closed doors are not the end, they're redirection, and that what I called delay might just be your divine protection. It's hard to see purpose in pain, but when I start my day with you, I stop needing every answer. I find rest in the truth that you are still writing my story, and you've never dropped the pen. Even when I've made mistakes, you've never abandoned the masterpiece. I think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into prison, forgotten. But even in that dark place, you were with him. And in time, the pit gave way to the palace. Not because Joseph forced his way there, but because he trusted you through every turn. That kind of trust doesn't come from willpower. It comes from intimacy, from knowing who you are, from starting each day with you and letting that trust grow like a seed in the soil of my soul. Even in the waiting, something sacred is taking root. Let me carry that peace today, Lord. Not a shallow calm, but a deep, steady confidence that no matter what I face, you've gone before me, that nothing surprises you, and that your plans for me are still alive, even when I feel stuck. Help me let go of the illusion that I have to control everything. Show me how to rest while I wait, how to listen while I move, and how to believe when I don't yet see. Seeking you first realigns my spirit. It reminds me what's eternal and what's just passing through. Let this day reflect our time together. Let my actions carry the fragrance of your presence. Let my eyes see people through your love, and let my words plant life where there's been despair. May my life be evidence that you are near. You don't ask me to have it all together. You ask me to be honest. And here I am again, saying I need you more than anything. I need your voice louder than the doubt, your truth stronger than the lies, your peace deeper than my fear. Because more than success, more than applause, more than comfort, I want to walk closely with you. That is my greatest treasure. And as I begin again today, I say it once more. Lord, I seek you above all else. Some days I feel pulled in 100 directions, each one shouting louder than the last. But when I pause, even for a breath, and remember you're here, something shifts. The noise quiets, the urgency softens, and I'm reminded that only one thing is truly necessary: being with you. Lord, I've realized that seeking you first isn't just about a moment in the morning. It's a way of living, breathing, choosing. It's the quiet turning of my heart toward you in everything. It's inviting you into my thoughts before they spiral, into my words before they spill out, into my actions before they take root. It comforts me to think of Mary sitting at Jesus' feet while Martha hurried in the kitchen. I've been both trying to serve while forgetting to stop and listen. But when you gently remind me, I see that even service can become noise if it's not first rooted in your presence. So today I choose to sit with you again. Not because I've figured everything out, but because I haven't. I sit not to gain control but to release it. To hand you every burden, every worry, every plan that feels too big for my hands. You are the anchor when I drift, the light when my way is unclear. You remind me that I'm not defined by my busyness, not measured by my productivity, not loved because of my performance. I am yours, and that alone is enough. I want that peace to mark my life. Not a peace that comes and goes with circumstances, but one that lives deep inside me. The kind that still believes even when prayers feel unanswered. The kind that stays even when the storm doesn't. That peace comes when I stop trying to figure you out and start trusting who you are. You are good. You are kind. You are present. And no matter what the day holds, those truths don't change. So I choose to rest in them. I lift the things I can't carry, unanswered questions, unhealed wounds, unmet hopes, and I place them in yours. You are not overwhelmed by what overwhelms me. You don't shrink from my mess. You draw near, and in your nearness, I find what I could never create on my own. Peace. Let the overflow of my time with you touch everything I do. Let it shape how I lead, how I parent, how I love, how I serve. I don't want to just carry your name. I want to carry your nature. When the world tries to pull me out of peace, call me back. Call me back with your still small voice. Call me back through scripture, through a friend's encouragement, through the quiet reminder that I am not walking alone. Let today be led by your spirit, not my stress. Let every decision begin with what would you have me do, and every interaction be filled with grace. Make me slow to speak, quick to listen, and gentle in all things. So once again, I turn my heart toward you, not just to start this day, but to stay with you through every step. And in doing so, I say what I've learned to mean with my whole heart. I trust you more than I trust myself. Lord, as I continue walking with you, I realize how often I've tried to outrun my own healing. I've rushed through hard moments, tried to skip the process, begged for shortcuts through pain. But you, in your mercy, don't let me miss the deep work you're doing in the stillness. You're not interested in surface change. You're after my heart. And when I seek you first, I give you permission to go deeper, to dig beneath the layers, to pull up the roots of fear, bitterness, and shame I didn't know were still buried. And though it's uncomfortable, it's also holy. There are days when I wonder why certain things still hurt, why some prayers still feel unanswered. But then I remember healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's slow, sacred, and quiet. Like seeds under the soil, unseen but very much alive. Because you don't expose to embarrass. You reveal to restore. You don't bring things to the light to wound me. You bring them out to heal me. And the safest place for my brokenness is in your hand. You're teaching me that wholeness comes not just from being fixed, but from being formed. Formed by your word, shaped by your truth, held by your love. And I don't have to be perfect to walk closely with you. I just have to be willing. I want to live that way, not hiding my weaknesses, but offering them to you. Not waiting until I'm strong to seek you, but seeking you because I'm not. And trusting that what I give you in surrender, you return in strength. I think of David, how he poured out his heart in the Psalms with raw honesty and trembling faith. He didn't pretend to be fearless. He didn't always feel strong. But what set him apart was this: he always came back to you. There's something so powerful about surrender. The world sees it as weakness, but in your kingdom, it's the place of power. Because when I finally stop striving, I make room for you to move. When I lay down control, you pick up what I never could carry. So today I bring you my whole self, wounds and all. I won't hold back the parts that still ache. I won't pretend I'm further along than I am. You love the real me, not the polished version. And that love changes everything. In the moments when I feel unseen, remind me that you see every part of me. In the places where I feel invisible, you are there. You're never distracted, never too busy, never disappointed in my need. You call it beautiful when I come close. Let your healing flow into the quiet places today. The thoughts I haven't shared, the grief I've buried, the questions I've stopped asking. I give you access, Lord. I trust you to be gentle, to be kind, to be patient with my process. And in the middle of it all, I'll keep coming back to you. I'll keep seeking you first. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but because you are my refuge, my rest and my redeemer. You are the only one who truly knows me and still chooses to stay. When I seek you first, I stop demanding explanations and start finding peace in simply being near you. I stop asking why and start asking, what do you want to show me in this? Because you never waste pain. You always weave purpose through it, even when I don't see it yet. Lord, I'm learning that healing isn't always about removing the storm. It's about knowing you're in the boat with me. That even if the waves keep rising, even if the sky stays dark for a while, your presence is my calm. Your voice is still enough to silence the chaos in my soul. That's the kind of faith I want. Faith that's not tied to what I feel or see, but anchored in who you are. The kind of faith that doesn't panic when things don't go my way, because it remembers that you've never left me before and you won't start now. You've shown me that trust isn't built in the breakthrough. It's built in the waiting. It's built in the days where I pray and nothing changes. In the moments where I obey without clarity. In the nights where I weep but still whisper, I know you're good. Even when others move ahead, even when doors close, even when I don't understand why something slipped through my fingers. Help me rest in the truth that if it was meant for me, you would have made it stay. And if it left, you're making room for something better. Let me carry that kind of hope. The hope that waits with grace. The hope that doesn't rush you. The hope that holds on. Not because I see the finish line, but because I trust the one guiding me there. I think of Hannah, who wept in the temple, pouring out her silent pain. She wasn't loud, but she was honest. She wasn't noticed by many, but she was seen by you. And you answered her, not just with a child, but with purpose far greater than she imagined. Seeking you first teaches me that hope is not a wish. It's an anchor. It doesn't deny reality, but it looks beyond it. It says, even here, even now, even in this, my God is still good. He's still working. He's still writing a story I haven't finished reading yet. And in those moments where I feel too weak to hope, remind me that even a whisper of faith is enough. Even a mustard seed can move a mountain. You don't ask for perfection, just my heart, just my honesty, just my return. So I return again today, not with polished prayers, but with real ones. with trembling trust, with quiet surrender, with hands that still shake but are open, because I'd rather be honest in your presence than strong outside of it. You are the only place my soul finds rest, and when I begin with you, everything else finds its place. Even the unanswered questions lose their power when I remember who holds the pen. You are writing something holy, and I will not rush what you are making beautiful in its time. There's a sacred power in letting go. It's not weakness, it's worship. It's me saying, God, I trust you more than I trust my timing, my plans, or my understanding. It's a holy release, and every time I let go, you show up with something better than what I was gripping. Lord, you've been teaching me that there is strength in stillness, that the loudest victories often begin in the quiet moments where I choose not to panic, but to pray, where instead of rushing to fix everything, I pause and acknowledge that you are already at work behind the scenes. I used to think peace came from things working out. Now I know true peace comes from knowing you, regardless of what's happening around me. It's a peace that doesn't change with circumstances. It stays because you stay. When I choose to seek you first, I make room for clarity where there was confusion. I stop making decisions from fear and start listening for the wisdom that comes from your spirit. That wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers. And when I'm still, I can finally hear it. You are not in a hurry, and I don't have to be either. The world might move fast, but you move with intention. Every delay has purpose. Every detour has meaning. I may not see it today, but I trust that you're protecting me from things I didn't even know could harm me. Like a potter with the clay, you don't rush the process. You press, shape, mold, and even when the clay feels broken or discarded, you are not done. You are forming something strong, something beautiful, something useful. I don't want to be finished too soon. That's what I want, Lord. Not success the world can see, but favor that only comes from seeking you. Favor that brings peace, not pressure. Favor that comes with purpose. I don't need every opportunity, I just need the ones you've chosen for me. Let me not despise the shaping seasons. Let me not curse the waiting. Let me lean into it and say, do what you need to do in me. Make me patient. Make me gentle. Make me someone who doesn't just know your word but lives it in every corner of my life. I think of Esther, who waited for the right moment to speak. She didn't push her way into destiny. She fasted, prayed, and listened. And when the time was right, you gave her favor. You opened doors she couldn't have opened alone. Let my life be a reflection of that rest. Let people look at me and see someone who is deeply rooted in peace, not because life is easy, but because my heart belongs to a faithful God. Let my choices show that I've been with you. So I surrender my need to control, my need to explain, my need to understand everything right now. I rest in your timing. I rest in your hands. I rest in the truth that what you start, you finish, and you always finish well. This is what it means to seek you first. Not just in the morning, but in the waiting, in the tension, in the unknown. I carry you into every hour, every meeting, every conversation, because I know who goes before me. You are not just the God of my prayers. You are the God of my emotions, my decisions, my thoughts, my schedule. You care about every detail. There's nothing too small for you to notice, and nothing too heavy for you to lift. You've counted my tears. You've numbered the hairs on my head. You are that close. And I know who holds me when I'm tired of being strong. You are not disappointed in my weakness. You meet me there. You are the strength I didn't know I needed, the grace I didn't know I could ask for, the joy that returns even after a long night. Lord, today, I'm reminded again that you never expected me to carry this life alone. You didn't design me for self-sufficiency. You created me for connection, first with you, then with others. And when I begin my day by placing you first, I return to that original design. And belonging to you means I can stop striving. I can let go of the pressure to always get it right. I can rest in the assurance that even when I stumble, you don't walk away. You lift me. You steady me. You teach me how to walk again. There's something sacred about remembering that closeness. It changes how I see everything. I no longer feel the need to rush or prove or perform. I just breathe and remember I am loved, not for what I do, but because I belong to you. I think of the shepherd who leaves the 99 for the one. That's how you love. That's how you come after me when I wander. Not with shame, but with grace. Not with judgment, but with mercy that wraps around my weariness and calls me home. Seeking you first doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just turning off the noise and sitting still. Sometimes it's choosing silence over scrolling, prayer over panic, worship over worry. Those small choices realign my heart. They make space for you to speak. Let your voice be louder than my fear today. Let your promises echo louder than any doubt. I know the enemy loves to bring confusion, but you bring clarity. He speaks lies, but you speak life. And when I seek you first, I learn how to tell the difference. And when you speak, even in a whisper, it shifts everything. You remind me who I am, your child, your vessel, your masterpiece in progress. And you remind me who you are, unchanging, unfailing, always near. That reminder is enough to carry me through any storm. So once again, I invite you into every part of my day, into the words I say and the ones I hold back, into the plans I make and the ones that fall apart, into my strengths and into the places I still need healing. Protect my heart from offense, from distraction, from bitterness. Let my soul stay soft, even when life feels hard. Let me love deeply without fear, serve generously without resentment, and hope fully without hesitation. I surrender what I can't control and I give you what I can. My heart, my trust, my willingness. Shape me into someone who carries peace, not chaos, faith, not fear, joy, not cynicism. I want to reflect your character in a world that desperately needs to see it. You are not just the beginning of my day, you are the center of my life. You're the still point in my spinning world. And when everything else shifts, you remain steady. That's why I choose you over and over again. Not because I have to, but because I've seen who you are, and I never want to live a day without you. Lord, when I look back at the path you've walked me through, I see evidence of your faithfulness written in every season. In the chapters where I felt alone, you were quietly surrounding me. In the moments I was sure I had failed, you were rewriting the outcome with grace.
I remember days when I thought I'd missed it, missed the calling, missed the timing, missed the open door, but what I called a detour, you were using as a deep preparation. You weren't punishing me. You were preparing me for something I couldn't yet hold.
And now, as I seek you first, I realize how much you've changed me from the inside out. Not by fixing all my problems, but by forming my heart. You've taught me how to be content in the unknown, to trust when I can't trace you, and to wait with hope instead of fear. You've never asked me to be fearless, only to be faithful. And even when I've wavered, you have not. Your consistency is the anchor my soul has clung to again and again. You are not a distant God. I've met you in the middle of my weakness. I think of Peter stepping out of the boat. He wasn't walking on water, he was walking on a word. One word from you was enough to call him beyond the limits of logic and into the realm of faith. I want that kind of obedience, Lord. I want to move when you say come. And when I begin to sink, remind me you're still reaching. That even when I get distracted by the waves, you don't let me go under. You pull me back. You correct with compassion. You restore without shaming. That's the kind of love that transforms a life. Let every dream I carry be surrendered to you. I don't want to build anything that you're not in. No platform, no position, no plan is worth more than your presence. I would rather walk a quiet path with you than stand in a spotlight without you. I no longer want to chase the world's definition of success. I want to chase your voice. I want to rise in the morning, not driven by pressure, but led by purpose. And that purpose starts with being near you. Everything flows from there. And if you choose to bless me with influence, let it be because you trust me to reflect your heart. Let me never forget where I came from. Let me never stop returning to this altar, where I learned to put you first. May I never graduate from dependence on you. Use my life, Lord, in ways I may never fully see. Use my story to remind others that they're not too far, not too late, not too broken. If you can use me, you can use anyone. Let my scars become signs of your mercy. Let my surrender become someone else's invitation. Breathe through me today, through my tone, my choices, my presence. Let people encounter you through my peace, through my kindness, through the way I love without an agenda. Let me live like someone who's been with you, because I have been, and I never want to leave. Not just in the quiet hours of the morning, but all throughout the day. I carry this intimacy with me like armor, like oil, like breath in my lungs. You go with me, and that is enough. When I seek you first, everything else settles into place. Not always easily, not always painlessly, but always in alignment with your greater purpose. The burdens feel lighter, the choices clearer, and the atmosphere within my heart becomes calm again. Lord, I've come to understand that life isn't about how much I can achieve, but how deeply I can abide in you. It's not about chasing outcomes, it's about becoming someone who reflects your nature through every high and low. I was made to walk with you, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. You don't need perfection to do the miraculous. You just need a willing heart, and mine is yours again and again. I don't want to just know about you, I want to know you intimately. I want to walk with you in every hallway of my life, not just the holy room. I remember the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. A boy offered his small lunch, and in your hands it became more than enough. That's all I want to be today, like that boy. I may not have much, but I offer it all. My time, my attention, my heart. Multiply it for your glory. You are not just my Savior. You are my shepherd. You lead me, guide me, correct me, and restore me. You prepare tables for me in the presence of pressure. You anoint my head with oil when the world tries to label me with lack. And your goodness follows me all the days of my life. Let the people who encounter me today feel something eternal. Let my presence carry peace that's not from this world. Let my responses reveal wisdom that only comes from time spent with you. Let my life point beyond itself, even as the day unfolds and distractions try to creep in. Keep me close. When fear whispers, speak louder. When doubt rises, flood me with remembrance. And when I forget, remind me gently, as you always do, that I belong to you. Thank you for being the kind of father who waits for me when I wander, who heals me when I'm broken, and who delights in my return every time I come running back. Thank you for showing me again and again that nothing is wasted and no moment is too small for your hand. Even as I rise to face the world outside these sacred moments, I carry this communion with me. This wasn't just a prayer, it was realignment, a resetting of my soul back to what truly matters, back to the truth that you are first, and everything else follows. So here I am, still, surrendered, steady in your hands, ready to live from a place of rest, not rush, from peace, not panic, from grace, not grasping. This is where I was meant to begin, and this is where I'll remain. Let this become my daily rhythm, not a ritual, but a relationship, not an obligation, but an overflow, a heart posture that says, you go first, Lord, always. Because I've seen what happens when I do things my way, and I've seen the beauty that unfolds when I follow yours. And with every breath in my lungs, with every quiet decision, with every open door and closed one too, I'll keep seeking you first. Not just today, but always. Amen.